un grito libertario. Era Lemba con su pueblo levantando el calendario, con machete y con valor. Ay, 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 ay. Rompió el miedo milenario. Ay, 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 ay. Con machete y con valor. Ay, 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 ay. Nació el sol del barrio. Lemba, tambor de mi tierra, negro que nunca cayó. Tu nombre vive en la arena, en el alma del tambor. Lemba, orgullo y bandera, raíz que nunca murió. Dominicano recuerda, tu negritud te formó. Entre cañas y cadenas, sembró libertad y fe. Sus pasos cruzaron río y el monte lo vio crecer. Hoy su canto está en el viento, ay, 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 ay. Y en el cuero del bembé, hoy su fuego está en mi pecho, ay, 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 ay. Negro soy y lo seré. Lemba, tambor de mi tierra, negro que nunca cayó. Tu nombre vive en la arena, en el alma del tambor. Lemba, orgullo y bandera, raíz que nunca murió. Dominicano recuerda, tu negritud te formó. Negro no es sombra, es sol. No es dolor, es creación. Lemba vive en cada voz, en mi canto y mi tambor. Mira tu piel, mira el cielo, el mismo fuego los une. Cada golpe de tambora hace que el alma se sube. Somos hijos del cacao, ay, 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 ay. De palmeras y azules. Que viva el negro que lucha, ay, 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 ay. La historia nunca se esconde. Lemba, tambor de mi tierra, negro que nunca cayó. Tu nombre vive en la arena, en el alma del tambor. Lemba, orgullo y bandera, raíz que nunca murió. Dominicano despierta, tu negritud te formó. Lemba no murió. Solo cambió de cuerpo, ahora vive en cada ritmo y en cada piel que recuerda que ser negro es ser fuego eterno.
Negative attitude towards Africa. In San Francisco, on African Liberation Day, Brother Walter Rodney, an African historian, noted both the importance of African Liberation Day in terms of our African identity and some of the root causes for our problem of identification.
I have met brothers and sisters who say that their mother tongue, quote unquote, is French, Spanish, Dutch, Portuguese, as well as English, which we speak. And because of this, we have a problem of identification. We do not know whom we are. And that is why this gathering is of great symbolic importance, because it is an act of identification. We are saying that we identify with the African people of the African continent. We are saying that we are an African people. And when we make this identification, have no illusions about the fact that this is a very revolutionary initiative. It is a rejection of every other form of identification which the white society has asked us to accept. Let me draw your attention to something which white universities and white libraries practice. And this is a university community. Numerous universities lie around this land. You go into their libraries and check the Library of Congress cards, under Europe or Europeans, you will find all entries listed concerning the continent of Europe. You will also find entries listed about Europeans in East Africa, Europeans in North Africa, Europeans in Asia and Australia. Look under the Chinese, you will find entries listed not only for mainland China, but for Malaysia and for the Chinese in North America. But look on the Africa and the Africans, the only entries on the Africans relate to the continent itself. There are no entries on the Africans overseas. There is no such category. Africans who have been raped from the continent mysteriously disappear and become Negroes.
Remain New Orleans becomes the heart of a global spiritual movement with the International Vodou Day. Remain New Orleans becomes the heart of a global spiritual movement with the International Vodou Day. This two-day event is more than just a festival. It's a sacred gathering rooted in remembrance, healing, and community. Guided by ancestral wisdom and tradition, participants come together for a public symposium, powerful processional to historic sites, vibrant art exhibitions, and a traditional Vodou ceremony led by culture bearers from around the world. The event is a living tribute to the resilience and brilliance of the African diaspora, offering a space to honor the past, celebrate the present, and envision a future of unity and reverence. Through connection and creativity, Vodou Day uplifts voices and traditions that have endured across generations, inviting everyone to gather, remember, and rise together. At the heart of International Vodou Day is a mission of healing and remembrance. Inspired by Benin's National Vodou Day, the event in New Orleans creates a space for spiritual reparation and collective memory. Through symposiums, processions, and rituals, the community pays homage to those who survived the transatlantic slave trade and honors the traditions passed down through generations. Vision is to build a global healing pathway, connecting New Orleans with Benin, Haiti, the Caribbean, and West Africa. Despite centuries of suppression by colonial powers, Vodou and related African-based religions have persisted, offering empowerment, resilience, and identity to the African diaspora. Today, these traditions continue to foster unity and healing, bridging continents and cultures through shared spiritual lineage. New Orleans International Vodou Day is dedicated to honoring the rich heritage of Vodou and its many sacred paths. The event's goals are clear: educate the public about Vodou's history and principles, provide a platform for practitioners and artists, foster inclusivity, and celebrate African diasporic contributions. Cultural and spiritual integrity are at the core, with a commitment to respecting diverse lineages and lived experiences. Organizing committee led by elders and practitioners ensures that every decision reflects the collective spirit and ancestral wisdom. Through art, ceremony, and dialogue, NOIVD revitalizes sacred traditions, deepens cross-cultural understanding, and inspires personal and social transformation. The event is a living testament to the power of community, authenticity, and the enduring legacy of Vodou. International Vodou Day is not just a local celebration, it's a bridge connecting continents and generations. In 2025, a formal partnership was established with Benin's Vodou Rights Committee, affirming a shared commitment to cultural exchange and spiritual solidarity. The event has welcomed international delegates from Benin, Haiti, and across the diaspora, deepening spiritual and cultural ties. Strategic growth continues with public art installations, ambassador programs, and expanded media education, all aimed at elevating Vodou's visibility and narrative worldwide. The historic sister city agreement with Ouidah, Benin, further strengthens these bonds, making NOIVD a beacon for global collaboration and cultural bridging. As the event evolves, it remains rooted in honoring ancestral legacy while expanding its reach and impact. Vodou stands as one of Africa's major traditional religions, with deep roots in West Africa, especially Benin. Despite centuries of adversity, Vodou has survived and evolved, becoming a source of healing, empowerment, and identity for millions. In New Orleans, its presence is felt in Congo Square, community rituals, and vibrant artistic expressions. The NOIVD Symposium, sacred processional art show, and traditional ceremonies all celebrate this living legacy. Children's programs ensure that ancestral wisdom is passed to new generations. As global interest in Vodou grows, NOIVD strengthens New Orleans' reputation as a cultural tourism destination, drawing visitors, scholars, and practitioners from around the world. The event is a testament to the enduring power of Vodou, rooted in reverence, reciprocity, and collective well-being. Over the years, New Orleans International Vodou Day has achieved remarkable milestones. From sacred processionals through historic sites and public ceremonies at Congo Square to international partnerships and educational initiatives, the event has continually expanded its reach and impact. Highlights include the installation of significant artworks, the launch of educational series and podcasts, and the unveiling of historical markers. Each accomplishment reflects a commitment to honoring the past while building a future rooted in truth, connection, and cultural pride. As NOIVD looks ahead, it remains dedicated to fostering global collaboration, empowering communities, and celebrating the vibrant, living tradition of Vodou. The journey continues, inviting all to experience the heartbeat of remembrance, healing, and unity.
Honor and respect, honor and respect, honor and respect. Divine, all blessed greetings and salutations. It is another edition of Revolutionary Hoodoo, New Orleans Voodoo Secrets and Recipes. Powered, produced, promoted, sponsored, and supported by NOIVD, New Orleans International Voodoo Day. New Orleans' annual International Voodoo Day. In Ouida, Benin, a National Voodoo Day is celebrated annually on January 10th. African and diasporic artists are initially invited to create monuments to mark important points along the slave route. The path captured people the path captured people were marched along on their way to the beach and to the slave boats that carried them into slavery into the Americas. On the National Voodoo Day, there is a ceremonial procession to each of the major sites along the march. The procession begins under a tree where the slave auctions were held, then to the tree of forgetting, around which they were walked 3 times so that they will forget who they were and where they came from. Then the memorial of repentance, dedicated to the repentance of the complicity of their ancestors in the slave trade and to petition the forgiveness of the descendants of enslaved Africans now living in the diaspora, a plea for absolution. Then to the Somai enclosure, where they were said to have waited for the slave ships to arrive. Then to the tree of return, where the slaves were walked around the tree 3 times so that their spirits would ultimately return to their native lands. Then to the door of no return, a large arch where the enslaved were forced onto the slave ships. The most recent monument is the door of no return, and it's called the Door of Return, and homage to and celebration of the transatlantic descendants of African slaves. So on January 10th, National Voodoo Day, the Dogbo Kings leads the procession every year to each of these sites where small ceremonies are performed, followed by a major Voodoo ceremony. And these are similar sites of greatest importance to the experience of enslaved people in New Orleans. The Algiers landing, where the enslaved were taken off the ships, the holding places, the slave auctions, Congo Square, and so much more. There are already monuments and plaques in some of these places, but we envision commissioning several new ones as well. The event would lean into healing for everyone, for acknowledging and owning the history of slavery and racism, as for honoring the sacrifice of the enslaved and their formidable achievements and contributions to New Orleans, Louisiana, the U.S., and the world. And we continue to invite you to participate, join us in this annual event to honor the cultural calendar of New Orleans, modeled after our sister event in Benin. We're also grateful for your continued support and participation in this Monday through Friday night, weeknight podcast at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time on a social media platform near you, or by way of our StreamYard link or the QR code at the very top right of your screen. We're certainly grateful for you and yours and your continued support in the live chat. Greetings to you, Daniel Niels. Thank you so much for continuing to support us. And we will be unmuting our beloved co-host, the Queen Mother Sister Toni Val Martinez, community activist, momentarily. Elder Reggie, we know as Green Soap here, leader and founder of Shrine of the White Cloth, also committed member of NOIVD, and our beloved Bianca Johnson Plessy, also committed member of NOIVD and initiated member of Source on 4. All is truly and indeed a blessing. Tonight, we want to talk the roots remember. When the slave became sick, we most times had the best of care take of us. Massa let our old mammy doctor us, and she used the herbs from the woods, such as cami weeds, peach tree leaves, red oak bark for fever, chills, and malaria. And yes, one more weed, Prevent weed for TB and other things. That way the white doctor could that the white doctor could not cure. Yes, if we got a leg or an arm broken, master would have the white doctor with us, but that was about all for our old Negro mammy, was one of the best doctors in the world with her herb teas. When she gives you some tea made from herbs, you just bet it would sure do you good. And this is a quote from John Mosley, born in 1851 in Texas. Scholars have viewed the study of health and medical care as an important avenue to understanding the complex social relationships of people living under slavery. The medical practices of a society provide valuable insight into the nature of human and economic relations. This is true of all eras, including the time of slavery in the US. The nature of medical care experienced by whites and those they enslaved is rich with economic, social, and cultural insights. However, historians have encountered difficulties in studying the health status and medical care experienced by slaves. Reasons for this are numerous and include a paucity of data, poor medical records, and illiteracy during the time. This knowledge and information was passed down verbally and is embedded in ancestral memory. The roots remember. You ever notice how some things just call to you, not loud, not with words, but with a pull deep in your bones? That's how it was for me with the roots, with the leaves, and the old ways. See, hoodoo ain't just some superstition you read about in a dusty book. It is a living thing. It's the whisper of your grandmother's voice when she tells you to put a little salt by the door. It is the way your great uncle knew which plant to boil when your chest was tight and your breath came hard. It's the memory of Africa carried across the water, braided into hair, hidden in pockets, planted in new soil. Hoodoo, root work, conjure, different names, same heartbeat. It's the work of the hands and the spirit together. It's knowing that the earth gives you what you need if you know how to ask and how to listen. Now, root work, well, that's the craft of working with plants, the roots, the minerals, the bones. It's medicine, yes, but it's also prayer. You might take a root like High John the Conqueror, carry it in your pocket for strength and luck, or you might steep sassafras for cleansing to wash away what's been clinging to you. And conjure, that's the calling forth protection, calling forth love, calling forth justice when the world's been cruel. And it's not about harming, it's about balancing, about setting things right. Every plant has a spirit, and that's what the old folks taught me. Rosemary for remembrance, basil for drawing blessings, hyssop for washing away sin and sorrow. You don't just grab a leaf and use it, you greet it, you thank it, you treat it like kin, because it is kin. I remember when my cousin had in Louise, Mississippi, she had a garden that could heal your body and your heart. She'd say, child, the Lord puts medicine in the ground before he puts it in the bottle. She'd crush peppermint for a fever, lay comfrey on a sprain, burn cedar to clear a room of heavy spirits. And when she worked, she prayed. Every stir of the pot, every sprinkle of herbs, every knot in a string, prayer. Hoodoo ain't a religion, but it walks alongside with faith. Faith folks would go to church on Sundays, then come home and fix a protective jar for the week. They'd read the Psalms while dressing a candle with oil. The Bible was as much a tool as the mortar and pestle. And it's not just about healing the body, it's about healing the spirit. You can drink a tea to soothe your nerves, but you can also sweep the floor with pine needles to sweep out trouble. You can anoint your door with oil to keep peace in your home. Some folks think it's all spells and magic tricks, but it's deeper than that. It's survival. It's the way our people kept themselves whole when the world tried to break them. It's the way we remembered who we were when everything else was taken. And when I work the roots, I'm not just working for me, I'm working for my ancestors with the land with the creators. I'm part of a chain that stretches back centuries. And every time I plant a seed, every time I grind a root, every time I light a candle, I'm adding my link to the chain. And as I draw to a close for today and open the mics of my beloved co hosts, so when you hear the word hoodoo, don't think of it as something strange or scary. Think of it as a language made of leaves and roots, smoke and prayer, earth and spirit. A language that says we are still here, we remember, and we still will keep on working the roots until the roots work us home. And I invite my beloved co host to come on in and share your experience with the roots, with the leaves, uh, with the conjure, these secret technologies that are critical to our ancestral lineage, to our ancestral memory. Greetings and salutations, all. What say you?
Hello, everybody out there in the listening audience and on the panel. Um, I just found out something. Okay, basically every house I've been in, I've had aloe vera plants at my front door and in my backyards. So in me doing research, I just found out that in Mexican spirituality, the aloe vera is a protector, and that they put that at their front doors and back doors on purpose. I didn't do it with a purpose. I just put it there without question. I know it's medicinal, but I have never used it for a burn, a mosquito bite, or anything. So while I'm reading about the spiritual qualities of it, it made me think back. They say if it turns brown, if the ends shrivel, what all that it's working to actually protect your house from something. And I remember when I had some unsavory neighbors that I had to get rid of, my aloe vera in my front had turned black. And I thought it had got some kind of disease. So I had my son just constantly cutting off the arms of it. They was turning black. But then I read and found out if it turned black, if your aloe vera leaves stems turn black, that they actually had been fighting off some very, very bad energy. And at the time that my aloe veras were turning black, I mean black, I was dealing with some unsavory people next door to me, but I had no idea what the that aloe vera stood for. That I always knew it for the healing properties, and I used to plant in front of my door seasonal flowers, flowers that turn pretty buds and everything. But one day my spirit said, "No, just let the aloe vera take over." And that's what I did. I let the aloe vera take over. They say if it remains healthy, plump, and beautiful, that you don't have no negative energies around. And my aloe veras are so beautiful right now. But it was a time that I thought they had some kind of disease. I'm looking up in the plant books, trying to figure out what can I put on them to stop it. Look like they dying, but they was actually fighting off some bad energy hard. And that just tripped me out because I just instinctively put aloe vera in at my front door and at my back door. So anybody else heard about the aloe vera?
I'm not for sure. I know my grandmother do have a lot of aloe vera plants around her house when I go visit. I know she had plenty of plants around her house. And my uncle, he make hydroponics, like hydroponics and stuff that help to grow faster, and fruits and vegetables and stuff. And I do know that my grandma had mentioned about the aloe vera plants as far as like spiritual meaning to it. She really didn't get into deep details with me as far as how they benefits with her. But I know that every time I used to come over there and try to take her plant, she'd be like, girl, don't you touch my aloe vera plant. You better leave that right there. I got a lot right here and let it do its work for this house. And that's just all I remember she would always say about those plants.
Well, it was protecting the house. I have a article on my TikTok page that I posted about that. Because I had to keep looking once I found that I was like, this can't be for real. Because what tripped me out is that I just did it instinctively. And you know how you say it's just in you to know? I didn't do it for decorations. I didn't do it for medicinal. I just had to have it on my porch and at my back door instinctively. What about you, Elder Reggie? You got any plant?
Thank you, Sister Toni, and welcome, collective audience. Good topic, Divine Prince. Once again, I was studying herbs. I even was going back and forth to Africa with the herbs, but because of the medical malpractice around it, I kind of got away from it. But I know with aloe vera, just like you was using it as a protective around the house, you can use aloe vera for cuts, sores, topic, or topic on the skin like that to help heal. It is definitely a powerful plant. But the plant that I want to talk a little bit about that always had an impact on me, and I didn't realize it till recently, and that's the coffee bean. As I came up in the lower ninth ward in the city of New Orleans, coffee and chicory was a staple everywhere. And when the elders want to get around and talk, coffee was the drink of choice. But within coffee, I'm beginning to realize, because now sometimes I could walk and I could smell it. And when I get that aroma sniff within my nose, I have a tendency to know my ancestors are around, or my ancestors are trying to get my attention, and they're moving through the coffee. And that's what I wanted to add, because it is a powerful herb that do not get a lot of, let's say, talked about, but it's an effective hoodoo herb.
Yeah, I know coffee is good as a fertilizer to help a lot of other plants grow. That's basic. I don't drink coffee and really wasn't in my older years around anybody else that did. By me not drinking it, I guess my kids didn't pick up on it. But as a child, like you said, that's what the elders did. The coffee. Round the table, they talking, they pouring coffee. But yeah, that thing about the aloe vera, it really freaked me out. What say you, Brother Joshua?
Good day, everybody. Um, yeah, in terms of herbs, yeah. I use a whole variety of herbs and medicines to for healing purposes or for spiritual purposes. Chicory, definitely chicory. I've heard chicory was used really to help people move on, especially with coffee, like in terms of communication, um, especially like with grief and stuff like that, to help people kind of pass on and continue on with their life, to get through whatever issues they might be going through, or things they have trouble with, speak on, or to help let go. Um, uh, I use mullein a lot. Mullein is something I use just for my lungs and for communication, for breath. Um, which is sacred to the spirit. The breath is, and so I find that to be a very spiritual herb that I utilize in helping with communication and hearing and connecting with the spirit. Um, and yeah, like we have at the house, we have so many herbs at the house. Divine Prince, We have a whole garden full of things, um, from peppers to kumquats. I didn't get a chance to hear what Divine Prince said early on in the show, but we have quite a few herbs that we utilize in medicines that we utilize to bring into ceremony, and that we grow right at the house. Banana tree, another mango, pineapple, um, a lot of herbs. That's just a few to name. But we it's a daily thing. I mean, it's a thing that connects us to the spirit, and I think that's what, voodoo and everything in terms of indigenous practices, the roots and the medicine and connection with spirit. That's what we as humans utilize to connect with the ground and connect with the earth and the resonance of the three-dimensional space that we live on. Um, and it's a part of our fabric. Um, I mean, it was used to heal. Um, I know a lot of people, early peoples here in America, used that to heal from diseases and a lot of things that came here throughout uh, the colonial times and through slavery and through until till this day. Dr. Sebi, a great botanist that came into his practice on his own from his own education, his own self, spiritual connection to those medicines and those plants to help cure all types of disease. You know, things that people say they can't cure with the prescription drugs. And yeah, so it's a sacred medicine. It's spiritual, and it's what we have to be able to tap into to for revolutionary purposes, because you know that we've faced a lot of atrocities due to disease and due to things that was put upon us by outside influences to try to quell us, and quell our practices. And yeah, we still use that now to protect us.
Well, I know I sure have a whole new respect for aloe vera, and I will be watching mine very close to see any changes, any spots, any dried ends, or anything going on. But like I said, those people that live next door to me are gone. They've been gone. My aloe vera is beautiful. And then I realized I put my bottle tree dead in the middle of my aloe vera patch.
Mhm.
I'm like, okay, it's all adding up now. They all there together fighting the energies that's on this outside so they won't come up in my house.
Mhm.
So like I said, I have a total new respect for aloe vera plants, other than just using them on the skin for scrapes, cuts, sunburn, and stuff like that.
Yeah, Sister Toni, if I could just add in, and that's great you're observant of the aloe vera plant, but I know you also made mention, and I believe you do have a helping spirit in the gnome. It's one or two of the different gnomes around your property, your plants, and the things you're doing, and we have to, if you could acknowledge that energy too, because
Yes,
it's just a spirit that work with plants and herbs.
Mhm.
actually, I have a gnome sitting dead in front of the aloe vera patch on
Mm-hmm.
a raised brick.
Mm-hmm.
I have a gnome sitting on the front looking out into the street and up on my porch. For my aloe veras that's in pots on my porch, I have another porcelain gnome sitting
Mm-hmm.
on my porch overlooking the aloe vera patch.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm
Yeah.
saying instinctively, I was setting up protection without even knowing it because it's in me. It just tells me what I need to do.
Mhm.
Because to
Mm-hmm.
me, without thinking about it, when I was doing it, it was like random acts.
Mm-hmm.
But the more I learned, it wasn't just random acts. It was connect the dots to spirituality and spiritual protection. And
Yeah,
I
but
have
this,
some in my backyard too around those aloe vera plants
yes.
because I
Sister
have them
Toni,
all over my backyard.
right. This is good to hear because I think I can contribute some of that is to paying attention to detail. Even though you didn't really have, you had your parents that did give you some knowledge and things of the old way, but there was something instinctively in you that was connecting to the old ways beyond, up on itself, and you
Yeah,
moved in that manner. And the results are here as testimony as you given tonight. And those are another forms of hoodoo and voodoo. Sometimes if you listen to your inner strength, your inner spirit, and you move it, it tells you to move and do things like that around the house and the yard, and then you'll get these type of results. And this is a wonderful, wonderful testimony, Sister Toni.
thank you. Well,
Mm-hmm.
we running out of time, and I want to let Divine Prince thank those in our other social media listening areas, and then gonna turn it over to you, Elder Reggie, to give us the announcements and to close us out.
Yes, we certainly want to thank those who continue to join us and support us in social media, particularly Instagram, Greetings and Salutations, Remix, Reba. We certainly appreciate you. Donald Trump's granddaughter, thank you for coming through. Their Excellency Agasavi, we certainly do appreciate you. Timothy Hampton, thank you for coming through. Tim Alpha Male, thank you for coming through. Oliver Thomas, our elected official, we certainly appreciate you for stopping by. Lady Divinex, we certainly appreciate you. Hoodoo Yoga Therapy, thank you for coming through. Samuel, beloved of Sophia, we certainly appreciate you. And I believe it's Camille, my season. I hope I pronounced that correctly. We certainly appreciate you for coming through and stopping by. And we invite you all in Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, X to join us tomorrow night at 9 p.m. U.S. Central Standard Time. All is a blessing.
Mm-hmm. I have an advertisement for the collective audience. Our next moon ritual prayer and application ceremony will occur on the next new moon, Saturday, December the 19th, 2025. And that location is 710 Cluid. It's called the Cluid Gardens. We're doing it in Sagittarius is the zodiac that rules during that time frame. With that, I like to say, lest we forget, the spiritual medicine of voodoo brings healing and relief from the shackles of slavery that binds the master and the slave through the same chain of social division. We continue to have work to do. Let's continue to hold hands. Let's continue to pray. Let's continue to keep our eyes on the prize. With that, I say ashe, ashe, ashe. Good night, everyone. We love you all, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Good night,
Good night,
everyone.
everyone.
Good night.
Good night, Odabo.
Top 20 African tribes that think they are better than the rest. Ladies and gentlemen, believe it or not, across Africa there are tribes that carry themselves with a deep sense of pride, sometimes even superiority. Whether it's political dominance, religious heritage, economic success, or cultural sophistication, some communities believe they stand on a higher rung of the social ladder. In many cases, this self-confidence has produced leadership, innovation, and national pride. But in others, it has sown division, rivalry, and tension. Today, we explore the top 20 African tribes that see themselves as above the rest. Number 20, the Tigrinya of Eritrea, dominating Eritrea's government, military, and urban elite. The Tigrinya view their Highland Orthodox Christian civilization as the heart of Eritrean identity. They trace their heritage to the ancient Aksumite Empire and often regard lowland Muslim or pastoralist groups as culturally less advanced. Their sense of historical continuity from Aksum to Asmara reinforces an enduring feeling of superiority. Number 19, the Mano of Liberia. In Liberia's northern forests, the Mano pride themselves on their Poro secret societies, rice cultivation, and independence from coastal elites. Many quietly see themselves as Liberia's original custodians, more authentically African than the Americo-Liberians who once ruled. Their traditions, initiations, and resilience foster a belief that they've preserved what others have lost. Number 18, the Afrikaner of South Africa, descendants of Dutch settlers. The Afrikaners built an entire ideology, apartheid, around their self-image. As a chosen Calvinist people, ordained to rule Africa's South. Even after democracy, a portion of the community still clings to ideas of cultural purity, hard work, and moral discipline as signs of being set apart from others. Their language, Afrikaner nationalism, and religious conservatism once defined an entire power structure. Number 17. The Fulani of Guinea, long before modern borders. The Fulani roamed from Senegal to Sudan. Traders, herders, and Islamic scholars. In Guinea, they dominate business and politics, often priding themselves on fair skin, literacy, and lineage tied to ancient Islamic empires. To many Fulani, nomadism represents freedom and purity, setting them apart from settled pagan communities they historically converted or led. Number 16, the Baluba of Congo, heirs to the Luba Empire's sacred kingship. The Baluba carry a proud legacy of metallurgy, artistry, and matrilineal governance. Their reverence for the Malapwe, sacred king, and mastery of copper craftsmanship underpin a view that they are Congo's cultural philosophers. In modern Congo, many still reference Luba civilization as the nation's true intellectual foundation. Number 15, the Bamileke of Cameroon. The Bamileke are known as Cameroon's tireless entrepreneurs, controlling much of the country's trade, transport, and diaspora wealth. Their intricate chieftaincies and clan discipline foster a strong belief in hierarchy, self-reliance, and superior business acumen. To them, success is no accident. It's proof of being more industrious and strategic than neighboring groups. Number 14, the Mandinka of Gambia. As descendants of the Mali Empire's griots and kings, the Mandinka take immense pride in their history of empire building and oral tradition. Their storytellers preserve genealogies stretching back to Sundiata Keita, giving them a sense of noble ancestry. In Gambia, this can translate to a subtle belief that Mandinka heritage embodies the essence of West African civilization. Number 13, the Herero of Namibia. Despite enduring near extermination under German colonial rule, the Herero rebuilt with dignity and style. Their cattle wealth, militaristic discipline, and Victorian-inspired dress symbolize both resistance and pride. Many Herero see themselves as Namibia's most culturally resilient people, proof that nobility can survive genocide. Number 12, the Ashanti of Ghana, guardians of the Golden Stool. The Ashanti regard their kingdom as a living royal institution, not just history. With a rich tradition of chieftaincy, kente artistry, and political organization, they see their culture as Ghana's intellectual and spiritual center. Their pride is grounded in empire, one that still breathes through modern Kumasi. Before I reveal number 11, remember to hit that like button, share, and follow for more fascinating facts about Africa. Number 11, the Bemba of Zambia. The people of the crocodile dominate Zambia's copperbelt and army ranks. Their expansive matrilineal clans, centralized chiefs, and cultural cohesion foster a quiet belief that they are natural leaders. To many Bemba, their work ethic and adaptability make them the backbone of the nation. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure to watch the top 10 list because you won't just believe who made it number 1.
Please, allow me to show you something.
They say I'm crazy and that might be true. I got this white in my DNA, yet I'm coming for you. It's time we turn the tables, flip these motherfuckers on you. I wanna see you hanging from trees. It's time you pay for your dirt and your shit. You created the monster, you created the beast. Now all this savagery you just gon' reap. I'm coming home, daddy, to the plantation, and I'm taking the lives of everybody, including the children, on some Nat Turner. Do you hear that sound? It's about to go down. Unleash the beast, we about to tear this motherfucker down. Do you hear that sound? It's about to go down. Unleash the beast, we about to tear this motherfucker down. I met my girl Harriet at the gate. If you wanna know how she doing, yeah, she's straight. But she had one question: when we gon' get up? All that talking tough, yeah, we don't walk it tough. She got it locked and loaded, got that piece up on her side. She looked me in my eyes and said, "Meet you ready to ride?" Moving forward, you gotta use both eyes. Watch your front and watch your back. Keep your hands up on your gas. Do you hear that sound? It's about to go down. Unleash the beast, we about to tear this motherfucker down. Do you hear that sound? It's about to go down. Unleash the beast, we about to tear this motherfucker down. He sit at the table, but he don't order no bacon. He greet me in those words, assalamu alaikum. Got them glasses on his face and them waves in his head. He go by the name of Detroit Red. He looks me in my eye and says, "You only get one try. Know that your biggest opposition will come from the inside. I know you wanna love them all, but don't even try, because they'll smile up in your face while plotting your demise." Do you hear that sound? It's about to go down. Unleash the beast, we about to tear this motherfucker down. Do you hear that sound? It's about to go down. Unleash the beast, we about to tear this motherfucker down. We are the children of the ancestors that weren't perfect.